Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to the 9th round of AOR Esports Tournament for Xbox One. Tonight we go to Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the home of one of the world's most iconic drivers, Ayrton Senna. He has taken 41 wins, 65 poles and 80 podiums, and we witnessed some great battles with him, in particular with this track as well. It was also home to many title deciders in the past, including Is That Glock situation, where Glock was having troubles and Lewis Hamilton overtook on the last few corners of the race to win the 2008 title. I wonder if we get something similar tonight. I am Jess, also known as Jess Games 95, and I'll be in the commentary box once again to deliver the penultimate round of the championship. Just a quick reminder, it is not the final round for these guys on Xbox One, because when they did Austria, they were having some lobby issues, so they had to postpone it. So next week is when they're going to be running Austria. So this is not the final round this week, it is the final round next week. So yeah, it's not the championship decider, but you know what I mean. But we still got loads of teams that are vying to make sure that they get their team qualified for the live finals, which is happening at the end of May. They have 2 more races to really prove themselves. So, taking a look at the track, I can see we've got 15 corners and a few DRS straights to pay attention with. In particular, turn 1 could be quite tricky. In particular, the Senna S. People tend to take it a little bit too aggressive at times, so they need to drive with caution tonight, and they need to give space to other people, and it can lead to a congested group of cars with a short run into turn 1 as well. So contact can easily happen on those straights, I must say. So without further ado, I have just loaded in, so we are about to get underway with our qualifying session. So let's go. So as you can see, it is a dry race at the moment, or a dry quali at the moment. And I'll just give you a quick rundown of the standings from last week. Now, if you missed last week's race, it was a really good race. CRG Simon took his first win of the tournament for his team, Comrade Gaming, CRG. And his first win in a while, actually, I was very proud of him. And he's in the pits right now, so that is why I can't follow him. And Veloce Surprise came in P2 with CRG Evo in P3. So there was 2 CRGs on the podium. And we have TRL Martin, who was in 4th for FAP, and Veloce Alonso, also known as Sonic, on the Veloce Esports, Sauber Esports in P5. And just a quick note, it is Sonic's birthday today, so happy birthday. He is racing on his birthday, so big shout out to him. I wouldn't race on my birthday, so yeah. And without further ado, as I'm speaking about the teams, let's just give a quick rundown of who's in which car tonight. So obviously we have Sonic in the Sauber for Veloce Esports, along with Veloce Surprise. Those lineups haven't changed throughout the season, so there wasn't really much point in me going through that, but just in case you are new to the series, I always go through it anyway. In Comrade Gaming CRG, we got Evo and Simon again. Evo's currently on lap as well. Martin has just set the benchmark at the moment with a 106.8. Martin is representing FAP Esports in the Mercedes, and alongside him in FAP, it is also who's Tier 1 driver for Season 17, it is Menany, the Finn. So I wonder what results they're going to get tonight. They currently stand 4th in the championship. I will go through the standings in a minute as well. So I said Sauber, I said Renault. Let's go to McLaren. We have, in the McLaren tonight, we have TRL Button for ERL Esports. I think that's the only one in the McLaren tonight. Oh, no, we have someone else. It is ERL Myro, but he's in the pits currently. And for Maximus Esports, we have Apex Aero and Apex Zero. They've been quite good in the championship recently. They are 5th behind FAP Esports, and they scored some really good points last week in Brazil, so I wonder how they're going to do here. In the Ferrari is the top speed Italian team, and racing for them tonight is Pietro, Matto and Kowalski, the same lineup they chose last week. They chose to retain their lineup. In the Toro Rosso we have Most Roninen, and I think that's it for him. He's the only one representing Toro Rosso, representing TST F1 racing team. And in the Williams we have Thrive Esports. Now these are, as he's gone a bit wide there, these are the last 2 races of them as a team. After these 2 races they will no longer be a team, which is going to be a bit of a shame, to be honest, because Thrive Esports are a really good community, a very good team, so I would just like to wish them the best of luck as they're going into the pits right now. And finally, we've got 183 Esports with John and Amazed, and in Radicals we have Restive. So there we go. Those are your teams for tonight. And I will quickly go through the standings as well, but I'm just going to see if someone is on a lap at the moment. I'm actually going to see. So at the moment, the fastest time is a 1:06.7 by Simon, so he has improved on Martin's time. Look at the gap between Martin and Surprise, though, is about pretty much 70,000 of a second. That is crazy. So that is pretty impressive. And Maze, I think, is currently on a lap as well. He's approaching, let me just get my map. I think it's around turn 14 as he goes, actually no, turn 13 and 14, just past Young Cow as he goes through the start finish straight. I don't think he's on a lap anymore. Maybe he's not. So that, as a lot of people are going into the pits or going on their out laps at the moment, it just gives me a good chance to go through the standings. So on top of the standings, we've got Renault, Comrade Gaming with 233 points, followed by Sauber, Veloce Esports with 161 with a 52-point gap. In third place, we have McLaren with ERL Esports on 101. In fourth, we have Mercedes, FAP Esports, 74 points. In fifth, we have the Haas, Maximus Esports with 65 points. Sixth place, we have Toro Rosso, 44, TSTF1. In seventh, we have Ferrari Top Speed Italian with 38. In eighth, we have Williams with Thrive Esports with 6 points. Ninth, we have 183 Esports on 5 points. And 10, we have Force India with Radicals Online who's still yet to score. Will Restive score tonight? Hopefully he can break that curse with every team scoring points this season. So, I do believe Martin is on a lap now, so I'm just going to follow him for the rest of his lap quickly as well. Let us know your predictions in the chat on who you think is going to get pole position. Oh, no, I won't be following him because he's lagging a bit on me. Veloce Surprise comes across the line. No, he's about to go on the flyer. Yes, he is, as he's on the Super Softs. Now, in terms of strategy today, I'm actually going to check the weather because I've got a weather report from the weather. So the rain could be expected towards the end of qualifying. So it could be at the end, but it could not. It said 10 to 15 minutes. So I suggest if people want to get on a lap, they need to go on it now. But it is going to be dry in the race. So the strategy is likely going to be either super soft to mediums, soft to mediums, or medium to softs, as Evo sets the fastest lap time with a 1:06. The recommended strategy would be starting on the super soft because you get track position, and then going on to a set of mediums to the end. But we might see people try the other strategies. The softs have the less grip than the supers, but have more grip than the others. Now, Veloce Surprise improved his time I didn't see how he improved his time, like what attempts he improved his time, but he's behind Evo by 41 thousandths of a second. Now, they're starting to get their times pretty quickly already, so just watch out. Now, the pole time from Season 16 on Xbox One was set by Veloce Surprise with a 106.326. At the moment, we are on a 106.622, so we're not that far from Season 16 pole time, so do watch out for that. And the pole time was set on the Super Softs. Just to let you know about that. And the podium for that was Veloce Surprise, Evo, and Pinecone. So I might try and get predictions in, but usually when I predict stuff, it goes wrong. Apart from last week, where I did a really wacky prediction and predicted Simon to do well, and he did well, as he's just gone pole at the moment with a 106.4. That is not a bad lap time from Simon. So at the moment, CRG, both 1 and 2. Restive is not that far from the pole time either. 8 tenths off the pace at the moment, but still pretty good. All the drivers are pretty close. We still got Button, John, and Clays to set a lap time. So we are going to watch out for those and see if they find the lap time. Now, the rest of us going to the pits. Literally everybody is going into the pits right now, but Apex, Aero, Martin, Veloce Surprise, Myro is going on their out laps as well. Now, possible other chances of overtaking is turn 4 and possibly the start of turn 3 as well, Curvo de Sol. Once you particularly get through the DRS straight, the long straight, yeah, particularly around turn 4, because if you get good slipstream and good DRS, it would help you quite a lot there. As let's go on board with Apex Zero, as we've got no hot lap today, so I'm just going to follow him around the circuit. He's just gone past the center S's and he's going through turn 3 and approaching turn 4. Very tricky to get right here, but he manages to do it all right. Luckily, Veloce Surprise has moved out of the way for him. Now approaching turn 5 and then going to turn 6 around Ferradura, or however you say the corner. Now, Sonic has got a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. I've never seen that penalty before, but hey ho. Now approaching turn 10 and 11, approaching Young Cow. His last sector is set to 2 with a 16, so I wonder if he can improve and see if he can find a few tenths. We'll have to wait and see. No, he's not. He's in the pits. Typical. Every top person I follow on a lap, they go into the pits. Is Evo on a lap? No, he is not. I think Surprises, though. No, he might not, because he did improve by 2 tenths. But you never know. I think he may be going on another one, though. But I don't want to jinx it. I want to follow someone who I know could be on a lap. I think Pietro might be on one. I'll just have to find out. But he went a bit wide there, so he might have had his lap time invalidated. But we'll just have to wait and see as we go through the start finish straight. Please do not go into the pits. No, if he's not, that's okay. As he goes towards the straight, I don't think he's going to improve. Oh, he improves by 1 tenth, but that still puts him in P11 now. But he's still set a good lap time. Now, as you can see, as predicted, it is getting a bit darker. There is a threat of rain. Now, Demon has very kindly given me some updates throughout the race of any penalties, any weather reports and stuff like that, courtesy of one of the FAP drivers, Menany. So, thanks to those two for giving us updates throughout the race, because otherwise I will be clueless, you will be clueless, and I strongly suggest, if they're not out on their laps, to get one in now. I don't think we could beat the pole time if it's going to be a threat of rain soon. But what people are hoping is for the rain to come from right at the end, and it's not going to affect their tyres. But I'm just going to see if there's any sign of raindrops. But I don't think there is at the moment, so looks like we're okay. There's quite a lot of people out though, so this could be their final lap times to make sure they get the best possible lap in. Evo getting pole. He's pipped his teammate with a 1:06.4. Now, Veloce Surprise could be on another lap. Is he going to improve on CRG Evo's time? Can he do it? Nope, he doesn't. He stayed in third for now. I think he'll have time to go get one more lap before the rain starts coming. So we'll have to wait and see. What about most running in the Toro Rosso? He is, I think, is about to go on his last lap. Now, for the teams that are getting close to being qualified, these last two races are very important. Now, we've got Renault and Sauber. Pretty much, I think CRG has pretty much had this in the bag, and pretty much, I think, because there is a maximum of, I need to do maths, 43, I think, points available in the next two races, and the gap between Renault and Sauber is 52. Looks like Renault has qualified by the looks of things, and oh, there is a drop of rain. So I think a few people are leaving it out late. Simon has retired, so if they haven't gone out and set a lap, then that's it. The Thrive Esports driver, TR Clays, has to retire, I think, because I don't think he's going to improve as Veloce Surprise retires as well. Everyone is pretty much slowing down, so, and DRS will get disabled at some point as well. So there you go. Qualifying a bit shorter than usual, but it just goes to show that anything can happen in Brazil. A bit possible rain can show it, but you never know. As yeah, quite a lot of people are retiring, so I think the only one that's out on track is Melanie and Myro, but they will probably be retiring soon as well. So Myro is in 6th at the moment, Melanie's in 12th, Melanie's retired, Myro's going into the pits. So basically all the tyres the top 10 have set their fastest lap in will be the tyres that they qualify on for the race. So for the majority of them, it is going to be the super soft tyres. It is a given, really. It gives you as much track position as possible. So here we go. We are about to get the results of qualifying. And it's been pretty dominant for one team, as Comrade Gaming, both Renaults are 1 and 2. They look out the front row once again, separated by 19 thousandths of a second. And we got Veloce Surprise in P3, Apex 0 in P4, TRL Martin in P5, ERL Myro in 6th, Birthday Boy Sonic in 7th, and Korowski in 8th, Ronin in 9th, and John rounding up your top 10. But the top 14 separated by a second. That's how close it was in qualifying. So probably one of the closest grids we have seen in the tournament in the Xbox side. So I wonder if it's going to show off their true pace today. So apparently the 5 race grid penalty for Sonic was slowing down for a hot lap and the car behind was on an out lap. Okay, I wasn't expecting that penalty, but there we go. So the drivers are about to get ready for the race. So we have two of the Renaults on pole. Can Veloce Surprise challenge them to the line and get the good run into turn 1? Usually starting pole in Brazil may not be the best spin, because if you start possibly on the second row, you can get a good launch, you could get some good slipstream, and you can make the run into turn 1. And like I said, turn 1 is very tight to get right, because a lot of cars will be going there on a rapid rate. So we've got 36 laps of action, but first of all, let's go through the tyres. So we've got the top 9 on the soft super softs, with Pietro on the mediums. Now, that is an interesting call for Pietro to qualify on the set of the medium tyres, because even though the mediums last long, you're probably most likely going to lose position, but he might be worried about his tyre wear. If he was, because he is on the mediums, he would have hit roughly about laps 19 to 20 or 21 to 22, whereas people on the supers will pit around 11, lap 12, and then the softs will pit around lap 15, 16. It does depend. And we got Melanie and Sonic on the supers, and we have Button, Restev, Amazed, Aero, and Clays on the softs. So all 3 tyres are used for today's Grand Prix. And to be honest, these last few races is making me very excited for the live finals, for all the teams that qualify. It's going to be the top 3 teams from Xbox One, the top 3 teams from PS4, and the top 3 teams from PC. So altogether 9 teams. So it will be 18 drivers. And just a quick reminder, this is not the final round for Xbox One. We are rerunning Austria next week, same time, because they had some lobby issues last time they ran Austria. So Austria will be next week, whereas PC and PS4, their final rounds are this week in Brazil. So we're about to get underway here for the penultimate round of Xbox One. The lights are about to come on, the engines are revving up, and let's go, go, go. And it looks like a pretty even start from the 2 Renault drivers on the line, but pretty decent start from Evo, as Surprise is also trying to battle with Simon as well, and Martin dropping down the field already. Apex Zero getting a very good start towards the center S's as well, absolutely brilliant. Another person getting a good start is John from 183 Esports up into P8. So far Evo is number 1, then Simon, then Surprise, then Zero. And Alonso's also gained quite a few positions as well. He is up into 9th place. He is chasing down John too as well. And John is going to try and see if he can make a move past Kurowski. Sonic almost had a look at John to see if he can get it done, but not quite yet. Restev has disconnected from the session. Hopefully he can rejoin, and hopefully someone could send an invite when they go into the pits or something like that. So it'll be a bit of a shame to lose a bit of time for that. The gaps are so close already, but looks like they've all made it clean so far, which is very impressive already. So let's see how this is going so far, going into turn 1 again. Them approaching it very, very cleanly, and nice train forming already. Closest battle I think I can see is between Sonic and John. Now, no DRS as of yet, so probably in the next lap he might try and attempt a move on him. It'll probably be easier for him. We could try it towards turn 5 and then approaching turn 6 soon, as he tries it now around the inside. Does he get it done? Almost, but John made a little bit of a mistake. And Sonic, what a move, he's up into P8 of this Grand Prix so far. And his next bet is to challenge Kurowski for 7th. John is still catching up to Sonic, so pretty even on pace at the moment. Meanwhile, near the front, we have the Fat Boys of Martin chasing down Zero going into turn 1. DRS is now enabled for these drivers. And the first chance for people to use it will be in the centre S's. Now, this could be make or break for some of these drivers. So let's watch them go through turn 4. They are not going to make the moves yet, but just watch out and see when they're going to do it. It is, again, the difficult corners, turn 1, turn 2, turn 4, and turn 14 as well, is where people can almost lose it and go into the grass and lose their tyres and possibly affect their chances in the race. But look at Martin right now. He's definitely finding some time on the MX team now. That are ahead of Maximus Esports in the championship. Vapper only 27 points behind ERL, so pretty much Vapper's got to finish ahead of ERL tonight to make sure that they keep their hopes alive of qualifying for the live finals for the Xbox platform. Meanwhile, at the front, CRD Evo and CRD Simon are running their own little race at the moment with Veloce Surprise catching up. Simon to Evo is 6/10 per second, whereas Veloce Surprise is 7/10 of a second. They're probably just cruising at the moment, but then when it gets towards the pit window, this is where they could get the party mode on and start pushing for sensational battles to make sure they get ahead of each other towards the pits. Because if you get ahead of your rivals in the pit window, then that will definitely help you for your final stint, because it is a guaranteed one stop anyway. Now right down the back we've got the ERL Esports driver who had a bit of a twitch there, who is at the back of ESR and Maze just past Young Cow and going towards the start finish straight up turn 15. And he's going to try and make a move on ESR and Maze then in 183 Esports and stays where he is at the moment. Sonic gaining another he's getting his first 3-second time penalty, so our first time penalty of the session, not where you want to be at this stage, as we've seen that Fat Esports, or Menini and Most Modern having a back battle there, with Most Modern ahead of him at the moment. They were quite close in turn 4. I wonder if one of them has raw pace on the straights, but Menini is gaining a little bit more speed in the corners, but at the sound of it, we are starting to see quite a few people in this race so far get a few warnings, so these guys do need to watch out, because if they get any more warnings, then that could result in a time penalty for the drivers, and we don't really want that to happen, because we don't want penalties to decide the race for some people, I don't think. So we'll keep an eye on the penalties throughout the race, so you will be kept up to date about what's going on, because we want to see what is happening as well. So far, Alonso, the only person to get a penalty, so that's easy to track down. Not sure about warnings at the moment though, but looks like we've got the Ferrari and the Haas fighting side by side almost. Aero having the edge there on Pietro. Pietro's going to have another chance towards turn 5 and 6, braking just about the right time there as he's just approaching sector 2. They've got a train behind him. He's just got to find some more speed. He's got to make the move now, because he's also got the Red Bull of ESR and Maze to fight with as well, as ESR and Maze dives it in. And because Pietro was concentrating on getting the move done on Aero, that he wasn't concentrating on the battle behind him, so he needs to be on the attack and defense. If he's not careful, he's going to have TRL Button chasing up as well. So ESR Maze now up into P13, which is brilliant, as we've got our first person in the pit, and that is John from 183 Esports. What happened to him? Now, I think it's tyres, because he is going on to a set of the softs, so Looks like John is doing a two-stop strategy. I wasn't expecting people to do the two-stop strategy today, but he's proved us wrong. And there he is in P16. We have got Aero. Oh, is a maze. I think it's gone wide. Pietro's now got P12 back. But can Pietro challenge Apex Aero in P11? We'll have to wait and see. Aero can't afford to make any mistakes. This is where the tyres start to degrade a little bit. But the predicted lap pit window is lap 11 to 12. And we've got a yellow flag in sector... Oh, I forgot what sector it was. I think it must be a maze that got that. Now, meanwhile for P8, we've got Alonso and Kowalski trying to dive it in around the inside. Oh, it's touching! Touching, oh my God. Huge drama already in AOR Esports. Don't know who to blame there, but Alonso's now dropped it all the way down into P13. That's not going to be good for him, as they were battling for P7. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen for Alonso. He's got some making ground to do at the moment if he wants to get some points today. It is still doable. Some of the guys near the front could make some mistakes. So, and it is not over yet until the checkered flag falls. So, watch this space. I did notice that Pietro and Kowalski, well, Kowalski especially, does need to be, I think, more careful with overtake, as he's been given a few warnings from the stewards about his behaviour. So they are keeping a close eye on Kowalski tonight, see how he does and behaves. I'd just like to say a massive thanks to the stewards for all they've done so far in this AOR Esports tournament, as Clays, I think, has just gone past Alonso. The stewards, whether they were doing it for PS4, PC or Xbox One or all three platforms, they've done all they can to provide fair adjudication for this event, as I think Alonso is doing his best to catch up now. So let's see where Zero is. Wow, Zero is not that far behind Veloce Surprise either. So this could be a threat for the top three if Zero could potentially get the move done on a couple of them. In the Season 17 race in Britain, we were seeing a full-way battle for the lead. Surprise is going to get DRS, and so is Apex Zero. They're going to get the run into turn one. Who is going to get the jump this time? We don't know. Looks like Surprise just has it at this stage, but Zero is not going to give up. He has had the hunger in his eye. He's doing ever so well on his pace. Now approaching turn 4. Not quite at this case, but wow, what a performance so far for Apex Zero. Let's just see how many positions gained people have gained this race. We have got the top 6 have gained, pretty much haven't gained anything. Let's stay where they are. With the Turboso driver of Ronin has gained 1. Melanie's gained 2. Apex Aero's gained 6. Clays has gained 5. But don't forget, some people have pitted already due to the fact that they might have had something wrong with their tyres to put them into the pits, but we'll just have to wait and see. And Simon is right behind Evo now, and it's going to be the battle for the lead in turn 1. Who's going to get the head? In crucial for the pit stop window. Looks like it is CRG Simon. What a move in turn 1, now going through the Senna S's. This is Evo's chance to see if he can get the switch back on Simon. Going into turn 4, no, he can't. So, crucially, in the pit stops, Simon is leading his teammate by 0.3 of a second. But crucially, Apex Aero, whilst we were missing that, Apex Aero crucially got ahead of Veloce Surprise. But Veloce Surprise is definitely breathing down his neck right now. So it's not all home and dry yet for Apex Zero. Sorry we missed that because we were concentrating for the battle for the lead. Surprise has a couple more chances to try and get it done. We'll have to wait and see. The Toro Rosso driver, oh, that was almost contact from the both of them. But looks like they are okay as they go side by side into turn 15, going into the start finish straight as they both go into the pit lane. Both in the pit lane, and all Veloce Surprise has got a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. Wow. I was not expecting that from Veloce Surprise. That's going to put less pressure on the two Renault boys, of Simon and Evo, but that might crucially put Zero ahead. They're still fighting in the pit lane, Surprise and Zero. So let's see what they do when they go through the center S's. Approaching turn 4 currently. They've still got the train of the Williams as well behind and in front, I mean. So I think looks like they are keeping it together right now, but that penalty for Veloce Surprise has cost him as Apex Zero gets the move on Surprise. Apex Arrow is now a position ahead of him. He didn't need to do that, but if he wants to get past the traffic, then it was essential for him anyway. Now we're seeing the leaders pit of Simon and Martin. Evo is staying out to cover his teammate. So crucially, where does it go ahead of Apex Zero and Surprise? We're going to go on board with these guys. They're still having a battle into turn 1 though, as he tries to get past the Williams into turn 1. He easily does it, Apex Zero, and is in P6. And will Zero jump Simon? No, he doesn't. Simon comes ahead of him, so he stays in a net P2 at the moment. And the Surprise is going to do all he can to try and overtake some more traffic, and he does that all right, so that's not a problem. There's still people. And Veloce Surprise, I'm getting another time penalty, 3 seconds. Now, he usually only gets 1 penalty, and he's got 2 today. So he must have got a few warnings in these next couple of laps, in these last couple of laps, to get that penalty. So let's just check the tyres, because I know a few people want to check the tyres. There we go. So I forgot to check the tyres because I am an idiot. So Alonso is on the mediums. And we have got Evo and Melanie into the pits. We've got Apex Zero on the supers. I'm guessing he's doing a 2-stop by looks of things. He has to, because you can't go the race on a whole set of compounds. As we've got the 2 MX teammates ahead. So Zero has jumped Evo very impressively, actually, as Myro has retired from the session. So Zero, what a good result for him, but Zero will have to pit next soon as well, because if you don't pit, then you will get disqualified, because you'll have to either go on, I think you will probably have to go onto the soft tyres as Pietro goes past Zero. No, Zero goes past Pietro. It's not going to be that far before he can catch up to Simon now. What is he thinking in his head? Is he wanting to pull away from his rivals, pull up the gap that he needs, and then pit, and then he doesn't need to worry about it? It is a bit risky, but you never know. And John, just an update on penalties, John has already got 9 seconds worth of penalties. So he needs to be more careful with that, as Apex Zero's teammate, Apex Arrow, is in the pits. He's going on to 7 mediums. So everyone apart from Zero is either on the softs or on the mediums. So the ones that are still on the softs, they'll have to pit again, apart from Simon, I don't think. unless Simon could stretch his soft to the end, but I'm not entirely sure about that, but you never know. Simon may prove us wrong like we did last week. So definitely Simon and Zero will probably have to pit again. Zero definitely will have to pit again. Pietro's still yet to pit. Surprise won't have to pit, neither does Martin. Button and Clay still yet to make their stop. John will have to pit again. And yeah, that's just a quick update on the pit stop situation. Now look at Pietro and Veloce Surprise going into turn number 1. Surprise gets past Pietro. And now he's going to try and see if he can find some time from CRG Evo now. As Clays has got another 5-second stop go. A lot of stop go penalties today for speeding in the pit lane. It is quite common in Brazil, so I'm not really that surprised. A few people in the chat saying Simon will not make it to the end. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. If I have doubts, to be honest, too, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I'm just going to see what other battles we have had so far this race. Now, the people that scored the most points in the last race was CRG. And also, Sauber and Mercedes were up there as well with the amount of points they got last race. As Veloce Alonso, no, he is retired. The birthday boy is out of the race. Let's just follow a maze quickly to see if I can catch him. Or Restev. I don't think I can see where he retired. But that is very unfortunate. That is one Veloce Esports driver down. That may give a chance for ERL Esports to close the gap just a little bit. I don't think I was able to see what happened to Veloce Alonso. So TRL Button going into the pit. He is going on to a set of the soft... No, he is going on to a set of the mediums. I thought he was going on to the set of the soft, but no, he is not. He's going on to a set of the mediums. So the closest battle we have on track right now is the Ferrari of Kurowski and between the Ferrari Sports driver of Clays. Now, getting any sort of point is crucial. And please bear it in mind that drivers ahead of them have got penalties. So it's a chance for them to not give up, even if they're at this stage right now where they think, oh, I'm not going to get points. Just not give up, because there could be people that bottle it or anything like that, and if you just keep it clean and have some good battles, then that will put you in the points paying position. So we'll have to wait and see. As Kurowski is still right behind Clay. He's not going to make the move into turn 1 as of yet. Apex Zero already dropping from CRG Simon, so unfortunately I think the Supers doing a 2-stop strategy unfortunately is not working out for Apex Zero. I'm not entirely sure when he'll have to pit again, because I only have notes for about the 1-stop strategy. But look at Martin. Martin has found some good time lap on Pietro, but don't forget Pietro is on 17 lap used mediums and Martin's only on 5, so it's a question of when he's going to make the move, and he makes the move now and he makes it stick. So Martin up into P5 and he executes that well. Now, speaking of P5 and P4, Martin could catch up to Veloce Surprise, because Martin has 1 lap newer tyres than Veloce Surprise. And Surprise has got a time penalty. Now, I'm not sure if Martin has got a penalty, but if he hasn't got a penalty, he could potentially be P4 right now. I will check in a minute. I've got a document which I am reading, which it has all the penalties down, and I'll also check race director as well. There we go. I have got the list of penalties so far as provided. So at the moment, John has got 12 penalties. Alonso had 6 seconds, but he's retired now. Amazed has got 8 seconds worth. Surprise has got 8 seconds as well as that stop go. Kowalski's got 3. Zero's got 3. Plays has got 5. And Button has got 3. Everybody else, it is a clean sweep. No penalties. So no penalties for Simon. No penalties for Evo. And no penalties for TRL Martin. So Martin could take it easy. He could push and find. He's in within that 8-second gap at the moment, so he can easily get P4 from Veloce Surprise. But Veloce Surprise really does need to find some time to Evo if he wants to claw back those seconds that he lost from penalties. The question going into Surprise's mind is, will he serve the stop go, or will he wait until the end and get a penalty for an unserved stop go, which is 5 seconds? If I was him, I would probably lose more seconds going into the pits. Oh, that's Amazed out. A very brutal crash for Amazed. So that's one ERL driver out, one Veloce Esports driver out, and one 183 Esports driver out, as John and Zero are going into the pits. Now Zero is going on to the softs for, I think it's going to last till the end of the race. So, and he's 1/10 behind the Toro Rosso, now 1.7. But Melanie's not that far behind Zero either, so watch out for that going through turn 4. So, I wonder how many positions Zero is going to benefit being on those newer tyres and softer tyres compared to most of the runners. John has done the same. John is pitted onto a set of the softs as well, compared to a lot of people on the mediums. Simon's on the softs, but he will have to pit again. No question about it, because otherwise Simon is probably going to get a puncher, and we don't really want to see a puncher from any of these guys, to be honest. Lap 22 of 36. Let's just give a rundown of the orders so far so you know what's going on. So, CRG Simon is leading this race as Martin has got his first 3-second penalty, but do not worry, Surprise is on in terms of position. Surprise has got, I think it's got about, I'm trying to do some math, but, well, it's got about, I think it's got about 3 seconds more penalties than him, so. But that's gonna put less pressure on Surprise if he knows Martin has got a time penalty as well. So he's gonna put some extra relief on his shoulders so he doesn't have to push that much. Even though he has to push harder, he doesn't have to push that much. But we'll have to see if he can catch up to the Renault guys. Meanwhile, in the Friday Sports camp in P12, we have got Plays right on the back of John, as we got Kowalski and John having a little bit of a battle as well. Let us know in the chat who has been your standout performance so far this race, as Zero has just got past most Ronin. Let's see how they're going to do in turn number 1. Ronin didn't have a look there, but he could have a look going through into the center S's. This could be his next big chance, as I think John has gone past Kowalski by the looks of things. Let's jump to that. Yes, he has, so good on to John, as he's around about 2/10 behind Apex Aero now, so when is he going to get past that is the question to be seen. This could be Kowalski's another big chance on these tight set corners to overtake, but he really needs to watch out if you don't want to get any more penalties due to that. Now, if you're liking the content on the AOR channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter is at ApexOnRacing. So you can follow what races we broadcast. We pretty much broadcast every sport league going. So obviously, we have F1 2018 leagues for season 17. The filler league for the just before the F1 2019 game. We obviously have this, which is on its final week, but we're in Austria for Xbox One. Next week, we have Project Cars 2. Normally we have the GT3 leagues, but we have the Radicals for 2 more weeks before we move on to the GT3s. And we have the and PC and PS4 have endurance leagues for Project Cars 2 as well. And also, most recently, we've got a broadcast for GT Sport, which is on Thursday night at 8 o'clock for Super Formula. So if you haven't been watching that, make sure you do, as Simon, as predicted, is going into the pits, as he is going on to the sauce for the last bit of the race. Now, this could be a threat for the guys around, because knowing Simon, if he's on those tyres to the end, that's going to be a very good time for him if he's going to find some time. So we just have to find out, just watch out. Simon hasn't got any penalties yet, so it's still doable. Martin's only got 3 seconds worth though, so he hasn't got much compared to his other rivals. The battle for the points then, we've got Aero, Kowalski and John. Aero still on the back of John going through turn 4, but not enough to do this on this occasion, as John is doing not too bad in this race, despite the fact that he's got probably the most penalties out of everyone. So he needs to watch out. He's already on a few warnings already before he gets his next penalty. Pietro has just pitted again. He is on a set of the super soft tyres. I'm guessing he wants to go for the fastest lap. Now, if Simon could get past the guys, if he can get 3 seconds clear of the guys in front of Martin and Surprise, he can easily get P2. He needs to find about a second a lap, which he's doing, and it's not impossible, but you never know. We've got 10 laps to go of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's still CRG Evo that is leading the way, who has been leading for most of the race. Simon overtook him a few laps before the pit stops, but Evo and Simon were doing different strategies. No matter what happens, pretty much CRG has pretty much confirmed a space in the finals if they stay as they are, which will be a great result for them. The whole team will be proud of how Simon and Evo have performed throughout this tournament. They've been superb, they've been consistent. There were a few races where one person has retired, but for the majority of them, both cars have kept it together and scored points. So, and some of them were 1-2s as well, so that was good. Both of them have won a race this season. Evo's won more, but it's not about the drivers, it is about the constructors. Kowalski has just got a 3 second time penalty, so that puts him down quite a bit as well. Not much battles going on at the moment, it's pretty quiet on circuit. Menini is still within DRS of most running at the moment in the Toro Rosso. Menini doing quite well for the FAP Esports team in 7th, going to get some good points at the moment. FAP Esports are looking for a double points finish, which is similar to what happened last week, which will be a good result for the team. Their PS4 team not doing too bad in the tournament either. They want their Xbox team to do the same. Melanie just needs to find a bit of pace, but most Ronin's tyres will die earlier than Melanie, so just watch out for the end of the race for that. Meanwhile, Simon is now 4.1 seconds behind Martin now. He needs to find another 1 second, and then he'll get third, if not second. So that will be good. Martin's now third still, but Simon needs to find 5 tenths, and then he can get third at the very most, which will be good. Some of the time I've never seen two-stop strategies work, but Simon, I think, has proved us all wrong tonight. He is the one who is making it work and is possibly most likely going to get a podium out of it, which will be a good achievement in itself for season 17, just to give you a heads up for what is going on with the season 17 calendar. Brazil will be the last round of season 17. We've just had round 5 on Sunday. We've got Germany, Belgium, Italy, Japan and Brazil to go. So we've got 5 rounds of that. So, to be honest, Brazil really, in real life, should be the last round of the championship, because, I don't know, it always proves a spectacle. There's always more battles going on in Brazil than Abu Dhabi, really. But again, that is just my personal opinion. You might beg to differ, but you know. So is Melanie going to catch up to Ronin? I did say Ronin was going to, clock times were going to die soon. So that's going to, oh, there was a bit of a look up from Melanie. So I think he's going to catch up. He's in within DRS. He's going to get DRS open now, but he is not going to have the edge at the moment, I don't think, to overtake him. But he's getting closer though. 6 tenths. He's getting closer lap after lap after lap at the moment, so watch out for Melanie, the prancing horse so far. I don't think, I'm just going to check. I'm just going to check to see if the penalties have been updated as well. Melanie or Ronin don't have a penalty either, and neither does Evo or Simon. So I think those are the only 4 people that don't have any penalties. Everybody doesn't have any penalties, I don't think. Demon saying Abu Dhabi is love. Well, I like Abu Dhabi because it's night time, and there's a lot of DRS straights in Abu Dhabi, but I just prefer Brazil to be the final race, to be honest with you. But everyone has different opinions. We are approaching lap 31 of 36. Tyres are starting to die for some of these people. There's quite a few people that are just going for fastest lap. So they're really going for all their might, as Melanie is getting DRS, but not quite within the pace at the moment. Simon is also within DRS range of Martin, but not quite close enough. But he doesn't need to get past Martin if he wants to get a podium. Now, he's already 7 tenths behind him. Now, he has found a lot of time in the last few laps. And I think I've just jinxed Ronin, because Ronin has got his first time penalty of the session. So that will put Melanie ahead of the Toro Rosso if things stay like this. So if he keeps up with the Toro Rosso driver, then Melanie will get P6. At least we're seeing less penalties than we've seen in the United States. In the United States last week, we had loads of people get penalties. But that was with every league race. I've never watched a USA league race and see only a few people get penalties. Every USA league race, everyone gets penalties. Well, most people get penalties. But not as much this week, so that is good. Meanwhile, though, Martin is still trying to find time on Simon now. As Simon has gone ahead of Martin. Simon is now up into third. So sorry we missed that. I was concentrating more on what was happening with Melanie and both Ronin as Button has got another time penalty. So Simon goes past. Someone says, will Fat overtake ERL? Let me just check, actually. Now, at the moment, as far as it stands, none of the ERL boys will get points. Fat will score. I don't know what 4th and 7th get, but they're on double points anyway. So, yeah. Fat could close up to ERL Esports. So it is not over. So it is not over for Fat to possibly have their last chances of getting a place in the finals. So this could be good for him. As Martin is already dropping away from Simon. Pietro, I think, doesn't have any penalties either, so that is good for him as he's keeping it clean all race. And let's see who's got fastest lap so far. Fastest lap so far is set by Simon with a 108.837, closely followed by Pietro. So not that far behind. So, to be honest, this tournament has had its ups and downs in certain teams. Some teams have had a lot of ups, some people have had a lot more downs and ups, but it just goes to show that they've all worked very hard to try and get there today. And they've got one more round in Austria next week to see if any of the teams behind can do it. Pretty much, I think the only teams that could possibly have a chance of qualifying with Sauber and Renault is ERL Esports, FAP Esports and Maximus Esports. So 3 teams next week will be fighting for P3 in the standings, which is what they need, as Apex Aero gets a time penalty. Pietro already on the back of Melanie, so Melanie's P7 could be in jeopardy here, which is not what he wants at this stage. He can't afford to make too many mistakes. Pietro has been keeping it clean all race, and he hasn't been much of a threat this race, but he's probably going to be a dark horse towards the end. And he's going to try and take the right-hand side. They're going to go side by side into turn number 1. Melanie gets a switch back, though. Oh, Pietro, that was close from the both of them. Pietro going to get left-hand side again through the centre as round this long straight, approaching turn 4. Pietro has the edge on Melanie there. Pietro up into 7th place, which is crucial for him, which is just what he needs for the Ferrari team. Melanie looks like he was going to get another look there. Kowalski getting another 3-second time penalty as well, and so is Apex Zero. We're starting to see quite a lot of penalties in the final lap, so these guys do need to watch out. We are on the final lap as Evo and Zafrai have just started their final lap right now. I am following those to see if there's any other battles first before I pass you over to our race leader. As Melanie's going to have a chance into turn 1. Ooh, maybe not, maybe not, maybe another chance in the centre S's then. He's going to get the DRS, he's dropping down the RS, so he's saving it to his potential at the moment. But right now, let's go on board with CRG Evo. He has had a flawless race today. He had that one blip when Simon overtook him, but that didn't faze him. He concentrated He had that positive mindset, and that is why he is your race winner for round number 9 of the AOR Esports Tournament for Xbox One. Well deserved for Evo, and due to Surprise's penalty, that makes it a CRG 1-2 once again. Well done to the both of them. So Simon in P2, Surprise in P3. Martin gets a well-deserved P4, which is good result for the FAT Esports team. A very good result for Maximus Esports, Apex Zero in P5. Not bad for Pietro in 6th as well, no penalties. Melanie and Pietro, 23 thousandths. That was close. That was close. We've got a few more people crossing the line. We have Thrive Esports. I do believe they might be racing next week, but if they're not, we wish them and all their team members a successful future. As Kowalski had a spin there, as Button, it will be the last person to cross the line. Okay, so this has been a very good race to watch, a very good race to commentate, and a very good race for the CRG Esports team. So we're going to get the standings now, but right now here is our podium with CRG Evo celebrating, and a 1-2 almost certainly qualifies Renault for the finals, which is well deserving. Well done. But obviously it may be provisional, but at the moment, with only one Veloce teammate scoring, Renault have qualified, which will be a huge weight off their shoulders then. So here is Evo and Simon, P1 and 2. We have Veloce Surprise in P3, Martin in 4th, Apex Zero in 5th, Pietro in 6th, Melanie in P7, Most Ronin in 8th, Apex Aero in 9th. And then we have John rounding up your top 10. And we've got Clays, Kowalski, Button, and then your non-finishers, Restev, Amazed, Alonso, and Myro. So we had 4 people that did not finish tonight's race. But quite a lot of people finished, and look at all those penalties though. There's quite a lot of penalties that have been given, but Pietro, Melanie, Simon, and Evo, only ones of the finishers not to get penalties. So a clean race for these 4 drivers. So that is the end for this round of the AOR Esports Championship. This would be the final round, but just as a quick reminder, due to the fact that when they tried to run the Austrian Grand Prix, the lobby and Xbox Live were playing up. Austria is getting run next week, so make sure you tune in to the final round of the esports tournament next Tuesday at 8:30. Austria always brings some great battles. We've seen that a few weeks ago in season 17. And I am very looking forward to that. Well, it does depend who's commentating. I might be commentating on that. I don't know. It might be someone else though. But Austria definitely brings out some good moments. Always some close qualifying as well. So looking forward to that. But don't forget, we've got the final rounds for the PC and PS4 AOR Esports tournaments coming up this week. We got PS4 on Thursday night at 8 PM and PC Saturday night at 8 PM. Make sure you join us then. I'm sure those races are going to be absolutely fantastic as well. And I'm sure whoever's going to be commentating them, they are going to enjoy it as well. So, it's interesting enough. Also, 183 Esports has got a point despite John's penalties. So, that's just a proof in the pudding to never give up. And John never give up. So, good on John. So, that is it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will see you, well, the next time the esports tournament is broadcast, we will see you on Thursday for the PS4 side in Brazil at 8 o'clock. But until then, I've been JessGames95. Have a good rest of your evening. And safe travels, everybody. And good night.